Interlune wants to mine helium-3 from the moon, a resource worth $20 million a kilogram. Vermeer builds heavy industrial equipment. Now the two companies are teaming up to prepare the lunar surface for NASA's moon base. They're adapting construction machines to level ground, dig trenches, build roads, and protect future habitats and nuclear reactors. And Vermeer has a second partnership with Astroport for autonomous lunar tools. With NASA committing $30 billion to a permanent base near the South Pole, this work could shape how we actually build on the moon. Interlune and Vermeer first began working together on a full-scale prototype lunar excavator, announced in May 2025. That project served as an engineering proof of concept for a vehicle capable of processing around 100 tons of lunar soil every hour in search of helium-3. Interlune plans to extract this resource and return it to Earth for sale. Each kilogram of helium-3 is worth about $20 million at commercial prices. The company has already signed commercial and government contracts for helium-3, worth nearly $500 million. After NASA announced its moon-based plans in March 2026, Interlune expanded its partnership with Vermeer to support that initiative directly, while continuing its helium-3 extraction work. The existing partnership could now help deliver important infrastructure for NASA's Artemis program. Vermeer President and CEO Jason Andringer has described the moon as their most demanding job site yet. The company plans to work with Interlune, NASA, and other partners to supply the infrastructure needed for future lunar settlements. Now, let's look at the plan. Interlune and Vermeer are developing a lunar site preparation tool. This includes adapting terrestrial construction equipment so it can operate on the moon. This is difficult because of the moon's much lower gravity, abrasive dust, and extreme temperature swings. The system will need to be highly autonomous, able to carry out excavation and site preparation tasks with only limited human input. The equipment is intended for preparing sites for lunar assets, whether from NASA or other government and commercial operators. Expensive structures such as habitats or nuclear reactors cannot simply be placed on the surface. Ground must first be cleared, leveled, and compacted so it can support large and heavy masses. Leveled and compacted surfaces will help accelerate NASA's moon-based plans and allow other lunar operators to meet their goals more quickly. Typical tasks include building roads, digging trenches for power or communication cables, and moving rocks and debris to clear paths for lunar terrain vehicles. Protective berms or raised banks of ground will also be needed near launch and landing pads. These help stop high-speed ejector from flying across the surface and damaging habitats, equipment, or, in the worst case, astronauts. I recently covered Lunarforge, a startup working on infrastructure for lunar nuclear reactors. Other companies are already developing landing pads, roads, and leveling systems for the moon. By formalizing the partnership, both companies can now move beyond prototypes towards sustainable, repeatable operations. While full technical details have not been released, Interlune CEO Rob Mayerson has said the initial demonstration tool will focus on leveling, rock removal, and compaction, the basic work needed before major infrastructure can be installed. Vermeer expects early lunar tasks to involve surface mining techniques. This would use a large drum attachment that mills the top layer of regolith and compacts it, creating a level surface safe for travel and construction. Interlune is not the only lunar operator Vermeer is working with. Vermeer and Astroport. In April 2026, Astroport and Vermeer announced a partnership. Astroport, which I have covered on this channel before, is a space startup developing lunar infrastructure. Their approach includes converting lunar soil into a hardened, concrete-like material suitable for building roads and launch pads. The partnership focuses on developing autonomous vehicles to support a permanent human presence on the moon. This is a separate agreement from Vermeer's work with Interlune, although Interlune is aware of it. There is likely to be plenty of opportunity on the moon for multiple companies working on base construction and infrastructure. Vermeer will adapt its existing machinery for lunar conditions, while Astroport will supply a modular system of interchangeable tools that can be fitted to the front of the vehicle. Next, let's consider how these alliances fit with NASA's Artemis plans. Alignment with NASA's moon-based plans. NASA plans to spend around $30 billion on the phased development of a moon base near the lunar South Pole. Phase 1, the current phase, runs through 2028. It includes the deployment of lunar rovers, initial surface surveying equipment, and a growing number of landers delivering payloads across the lunar surface. The longer-term aim is to establish a permanent presence on the moon, and then move onwards to Mars. The base will eventually include habitats, lunar terrain vehicles, a nuclear reactor, a lunar power grid, and much more. The plans of Interlune and Vermeer align closely with this architecture. Leveling and compacting the ground will help lunar rovers travel more easily and prepare sites for the Artemis base camp. Roads, landing pads, trenches, and other infrastructure will all be required over time. Their tool will be developed and integrated with the lunar rover. It will first be demonstrated on Earth and then on the moon. To confirm, it can prepare and stabilize the lunar surface for sustained operations. This work is intended to lay a foundation for reliable construction and resource extraction beyond Earth, and to help define the equipment standards needed for building on the moon, Mars, and beyond. Final thoughts. With NASA now clearly focused on the moon and an enormous amount of money available for the Artemis moon base plans, more space startups are developing lunar projects in the hope of taking part. Do you think focusing on lunar infrastructure and site preparation tasks is a smart move for Interlune and Vermeer? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these videos and want to support independent space coverage, you can get early access to every new video on Patreon, along with ad-free viewing. You can also buy me a coffee to help keep the channel going. Links are in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe so you will see our upcoming videos. We make videos every week covering the space industry with an emphasis on the smaller space startups that aren't covered so well on other channels. See you soon.